guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are ready to get this day started. Let me turn you up here. There we go. That should be better. Good morning, and how do you do? Good morning. Hope you guys are ready to get this morning started. Hope you're ready to get the day started. It's going to be a good day. Hope you are absolutely ready to get this day started. I know I am. I hope you had a good day yesterday. Hope you enjoyed the show yesterday. If you enjoyed the show yesterday, let me know. Yesterday, y'all, this whole week has been really, we've had some good topics all week. And they have been really good. So if you missed them, go back. Good morning, Tracy. Go back and watch. Because we talked about the hot pink story. We talked about living in purpose and not perfection. We asked questions on yesterday. And today, we got some more things. We got some more stuff. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family don't have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel where they can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows. If they're not a YouTube kind of person, we do have a podcast. It is everywhere podcasts are. I am on Apple, Stitcher, Anchor, wherever podcasts are, that's where I am. And so you can catch the show there as well. Give me about 30 minutes and I'm usually loading the show up for you. Y'all, today, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day, good day, good day, good day. All right. So welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. My name is Yamitra JoJo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? And I hope you guys are ready to get the day started. Because I know I'm ready. I know I am. Let's go straight into the quote of the day. And I have two. Because sometimes I cannot choose. Well, where did it go? I did have two. All right, I got this one. Without observation, learning is impossible. Without observation, learning is impossible. That means at some point, boo, you got to pay attention. You got to learn something. Without observation, learning is impossible. You can get a whole degree. You can get several of them and still not know a thing. Without observation, learning is impossible. I love that quote because, good morning, Tiffany. How are you? I wish I can't find that other quote. I had it sitting right here, but that's okay. That is okay. So without observation, learning is impossible. So let's get right into the thought of the day. I've been on songs here lately. I don't need permission to make my own decisions. Who is that? Who sang that song? Y'all know that song. And I absolutely love it. Did you just sing the whole verse in your head? Or did you do the moves? You don't need permission to make your own decisions. Could not tell me nothing when that song came on. I just knew. I knew all the things. And so that's the thought of the day, y'all. You don't need permission to make your own decisions. So the quote of the day, without observations, learning is impossible. Oh, here's the other quote. Attitude determines your limitations. Your attitude determines your limitations. That's right. And y'all know I went to see Bobby Brown this time last year. I went to go see Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. I lived my whole 15-year-old self all over again. I sung every song. I did every move, and I took my kids with me. We had the best of time. Do you hear me? Because I sung every little step. I did all the moves. There was nothing I left out. All right, so let's get right into the thought of the day. You don't need permission to make your own decisions. And I want to remind you guys that you don't, and I think some of us are seeking that. We're seeking permission to make a change in the perception of ourselves. We're seeking security and we're seeking the security and the confidence that it's okay. But more importantly, we are asking. We're not sure who we're asking. We're not quite clear on that process. But we know that we don't know. This is what you feel, boo. You feel like you need permission from somebody. You don't know who. You don't know why, but you are pretty sure that you need permission to change your perception of yourself. I have no idea. I got it out of one of these books. It was in this book, the Book of Tay. Everyday Tay. Is it Tay-O? Tay? It's in this book. That's where I got the quote from. Without observation, learning is impossible. So, we are all looking. We don't know why we asking for permission. I had to get past this. And this is a work in progress. Things that I have done consistently that I want to change something about myself. And I ain't quite sure who I need to ask to figure it out. Like, I feel like there should be somebody that, because at this point you forget you're grown. This is where you forget you're a grown person. Maybe I need to call and ask mama what she think about me changing this and that. Y'all, there's a difference between you respecting your parents and what they think and you moving in your life and you seeking an answer that not only you can give yourself to change the perception of you. There were some things that I wanted to change about JoJo, and I felt like I needed to ask somebody that. I felt like I needed to ask somebody something to make sure it was okay for me to change this thing. From all the way up to 40 darn near, I felt that way. I felt like I had to find somebody who was going to say, JoJo, it's okay for you to change. And when it finally hit me, I'm grown, one, and I can change my own perception of myself, and I don't have to consult anyone. Two, y'all, life became, there were some stresses left up off of me. That's when I discovered belly shirts. That's when I discovered waist beads. That's when I discovered all the things. That's when I discovered the freedom of my self-expression. I had always admired people who could do that, who could express themselves freely, who could, and y'all, I started in baby steps because in the beginning, as I was changing my perception of myself and I was seeking an answer from somebody and I didn't know who, but I was just seeking an answer for somebody to tell me it's okay, JoJo, to change yourself. Yes, absolutely. And that's, Beverly, that's exactly what it is. You are afraid that you're going to get in trouble with mama and them if you change how you really are. And here's the thing. You're not changing how you really are. You're acknowledging who you are. See, before you had everybody else self-concept of you, right? And remember we talked about that, how exhausting that is, people pleasing everybody. And then when you finally get to you and you decide, you know, forget this, I'm about to live true to JoJo. Well, now you feel some type of way because you feel like you still need permission from somebody. Like when I got this first tattoo, only 3 people knew in this world. 4, 3. Kiba, my 2 kids, and me. Nobody knew. This has been what? It's been a year, little December made a year. Nobody knew because I felt in the beginning, I felt like I needed permission from someone to say it's okay. So my journey started in baby steps, right? I'm changing my perception of myself. And I'm realizing I don't need permission to change the perception of myself. So I was like, I've always wanted colored hair. I was always the girl in the box. Please understand, I was always the nerd, the square in the box. I followed all the rules. I did all the things. I went to church. I did what I sung the song. I taught the Bible study. I did everything that you told me to do. But when I started to observe some things around me, and realize, why am I not liking anything that's around me? Why is that? Then I started to observe what it was that JoJo wanted. And so I realized I didn't need permission to change my perception of myself. So it started with hair color. I started with baby steps. The first time, y'all, this is how it was. The first time, so y'all know I was bald. If you don't know, I used to be completely bald. My hair grew back, right? My hair grew back. And then I was going through, I was beginning this journey for real. I went and cut all of my hair off again to a brush cut. Now, I was just bald-headed, not on purpose. But then I went and cut my hair off again. That was probably me trying to feel my way through what it is JoJo really wanted. And then as I progressed and my hair grew back, I was like, I want to change my hair color. And if you've been my friend, you know I wanted blue hair for an extremely long time. I wanted blue and purple hair. So I dyed my hair blue. And I was like, JoJo, the only way you're going to do it is to get the bluest of the blue. So I marched my little body right into Walgreens and bought the bluest blue I could find. Well, nobody told me, you know, if you got dark hair, you got to bleach it first for the blue to, I didn't know that. So I dyed my hair blue, and you still couldn't tell my hair was blue. Upset. I got you. Let me dye my hair purple, because I like purple hair too. Dyed my hair purple. You could not tell my hair was any different. But I think those are my baby steps as I was beginning to fill out, like, who am I asking permission to change my perception of myself? Yes, Beverly. That's it. Because we have been, if you're like me, you grew up and you honor your mama and your daddy, and you go to church, and y'all, I did all the things. I sung in the children's choir. I did everything that you asked me to do. I made the good grades. I went to school. I graduated. I was president of the senior class at my college. I played soccer. I did everything you told me to do. But I still didn't feel like this was real. I didn't feel like it was real to me. And so those little steps began the journey of me not asking for permission to be who I needed to be. You don't need to, because right now I can guarantee, if you're honest with yourself, that you somehow, some way, or secretly waiting for someone to give you permission to go do what you want to do, to start that business, to move, to date someone different, to leave someone different, to move your career, to stop working, to step out on faith. You are secretly waiting for permission for someone to give that to you. And today you don't need it. You are the permission that you're seeking. You don't need permission to change your perception of yourself. You are the permission. There's no external force that's going to give it to you. God. And he's giving you the thought process and the idea that's screaming at you, change. But because you don't trust him yet. You ain't got that far. You ain't trusting your inner knower that's telling you change. You're not trusting that yet, because you're just starting on the journey. And because you're just starting, you're questioning and you're looking for an answer, for someone to come down from heaven and touch you on the top of your head and say, JoJo, you have my permission to change. That's not how it's going to work. I can about guarantee that. You woke up this morning and that change was sitting there talking to you. You woke up this morning and it is eating away at the back of your neck. You woke up this morning and it is that constant, you need to change that. When you going to change that? And it's that constant ticking, that constant noise. Without observation, learning is impossible. And when you start to observe the things around you, then you start to learn who you are. And you begin to understand that the permission that you're seeking, it is yours to give. So today you can absolutely give yourself permission. If you wanted a safe space to do it, ta-da, here it is. You can absolutely blame it on the Fearless Morning Show. You can absolutely blame it on me. JoJo made me do it, mama. Okay, I can take that, boo. I'll take it. You don't need permission to change your perception of yourself. It was, please understand, my journey started with the cutting the hair off and then changing the hair color. Yeah, it started there. And then when I lost my job, that was more of an eye-opening experience. Like, I don't have a job. I wasn't sad. I don't have a job. I don't have a job. I don't have a job. Let me see what I can do. And y'all, I sat at home for a whole month. And I did, my bills was paid. I did what I wanted to do. And I began to understand more, because now I had time to observe who I wanted to be, why I wanted to change, what that change I wanted it to look like. And in that, I gave myself permission to move. Y'all know the story. I packed up and I moved. And then I gave myself permission to try something different. Every time you see me doing something different, that is me showing you that I've given myself permission to change my perception of myself. When I decided to eat vegan, now please understand, I still like meat. Because I wanted some crab legs so bad yesterday, and that is my weakness. I will always eat seafood. I'm always going to eat that. But I gave myself permission to change my perception of myself. Because, and here's the thing. Come on, JoJo. The perception of yourself that you had, it ain't yours. It ain't yours. That's good and country. It ain't yours. That's your mama's perception of you. That's Sophronia's child perception right here. That's Gerald Waddell's perception sitting right here. This is my mama's and my auntie's perception of me. There, nowhere in my circle of all my perceptions of all the different faces of JoJo was I sitting there. I was not sitting anywhere. In nowhere. And I am angry, frustrated, and I cannot describe to people why I'm angry and why I'm frustrated. It's because that little voice that's hitting me here, that's talking to me, that's saying, you know what, girl, I'm about sick. And I was sick of myself. Myself was saying, I'm about sick of this. I am sick of this here. To eventually, this is what will happen. And please learn from me. Eventually, that noise is going to get so loud of you needing to change. And it is going to demand, at some point, it's going to demand your attention. One, if you don't give it to you, everything is going to irritate you. And then I don't want you to be like JoJo, where I instantly snapped one day. And I went off on everybody that came in contact with JoJo. And they had like, JoJo, you crazy. What's wrong with you? And it was because I was mentally and emotionally exhausted from carrying everybody's perception of myself, keeping up with that likability trap. I had to remember what mama liked, what my sister liked, my daddy liked, my cousin, my brother, I have 22 brothers and sisters. I got to keep up with what everybody liked. I got to keep up with what my job liked. I had to keep up with, and wasn't nobody checking for what I liked. And I got good and mad, and I blew up on everybody. And I felt better. Then I felt bad. Because then here comes the guilt of doing it. JoJo, Lord, if you just said something years ago, you wouldn't be in that spot. If you said something years ago, you probably wouldn't have cussed everybody out. But I didn't know how to handle it then. Now I understand the journey. Without observation, learning is impossible. You got to stop and start observing how you are moving in this life. Is it your perception that you're living, or is it someone else's? Could that be why you're exhausted at the end of the day? Why you can't think straight most days? Why you really can't make a decision? And here's the reason why you can't make a decision, boo. Because you don't know what you want. You know what everybody else wants, and you take that into consideration before you make a decision about what you want. Your decision is based on everybody else other than you. And when I decided I don't need permission to make my own decisions. I don't need permission to change my perception of myself. When I realized I was grown, I could do this myself. Y'all, I was giddy with excitement. That's how the hair change color came about. Yeah. If Kiva, you still on here? Kiva saw this within 6 months. After I got it, like the transition was slow. But by like 40, I'm 44, but by 42, oh, I was mid-stride, boo. I was figuring that thing out. By 43, honey, I had a nose ring. By the end of 43, I had a tattoo. And they were all things that I wanted, but because my perception was for everyone else, and I was taking in everyone else's perception, I couldn't even fathom to begin to understand what it is that I wanted. I couldn't, because I just couldn't. Kiva was there. The nose ring came after the death of a very close family friend, and it was the day before her funeral. We had just ate. My parents went one direction, and right across the street, I'll never forget this, right across from the Teacher High Fridays was a tattoo place and a piercing place. And I was like, I've been talking about getting my nose pierced. And my mama said, don't do, baby, you don't put holes in your body. You just don't do that. I want a nose ring. And my aunt, baby, that ain't what women do, Not you. Not you, JoJo. You don't do that. And the more I sat there and I ate, the more that neon sign across the street got brighter. I was like, I want a nose ring. And I got mad, but I didn't say anything to anybody at that table. When we left, I hugged and kissed everybody, put my kids in the car. Mom, we going home? Nope. Where we going? I drove right across the street to the tattoo place, marched in there, and my oldest like, Mom, what you doing? I said, I'm getting my nose pierced. Today, now, absolutely, right now. Scared to death. I was giving myself permission to change my perception of myself. And honey, let me tell you, this hurt. I think it was the noise of it that bothered me more than it hurting. I came home and I didn't tell anybody that I got my nose pierced till the next morning at the funeral. And I walk in and my mama said, JoJo, you got a hole in your nose? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I have a hole in my nose. Y'all, give yourself permission to change your perception of yourself. I got that at Christmas. Was it May? It was May. I told Kiva, I said, Kiva, I think I want a tattoo. Kiva said, I got you, girl. I even designed it. Kiva, if she's still on here, designed this tattoo. I had nothing to do with this at all. Nothing. I showed up at Kiva's house Mother's Day weekend. I told nobody what I was doing at all. Kiva and my 2 girls. I drove to Spartanburg, South Carolina, marched my little body in the Kiva house, and then I marched myself right on over to that tattoo parlor. And my family called me all, JoJo, where you at? I'm with Kiva. Lord, what? I ain't seen Kiva in a long time. I'm coming. Well, we waiting on you. I'm coming. Marched my little body right in there. And I had on a short sleeve shirt. Walked my little self in my mama's house. And if you know my mama, her personality is bigger than the whole state of North Carolina. And I walked myself in her house. And she said, JoJo, Lord, what you done do? You got something all over your arm. I said, what is it? She said, you done sat in something. You done put your arm in something. And there was Mother's Day weekend. It was a house full of people, from my sister, all my nieces and nephews, my aunts, everybody. And I went to walk by my mama, and she stuck my arm up. She said, my God, you've been writing on yourself. I said, yes, ma'am. I wrote on myself. I sure did. And I told him it would keep a fault. I told it was keep a fault. And that they were traumatized. because they had no idea that JoJo had that in her. Again, I was living to everybody else's perception of myself. And so when you introduce who you really are to the group, to your friends and your family, they're going to think you have lost your natural born mind, boo. They're going to think that you have just, like, JoJo, honey, what happened, babe? My mama said, Lord, is this a midlife crisis? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It's something I've always wanted. This is something I've wanted. So it's what I did. And y'all, from there, and Kiva, you've been with me on this journey for a minute. From there, it was belly shirts. When I went to Puerto Rico and discovered two things. I discovered two-piece bathing suits, belly shirts, and waist beads. And when I tell you, that's all I wore. And when I came home, that's all I wore. Mama said, baby, where the rest of your shirt at? Don't you want to pull it down? No, ma'am. This all my shirt. This all I got. Ain't no more fabric. Oh, you want me to sew some more fabric on? No, ma'am. This all I want. Even in the winter time. JoJo, do you know your stomach out? Yes, ma'am. Do you know your stretch marks showing? Yes, ma'am. I sure do. Baby, do you want a coat? No, ma'am. No, thank you. Y'all, this has been the most amazing and funny journey that I could have possibly embarked on, because I am so far outside of the box of what everybody thinks JoJo should be, that they have absolutely no clue what to do with this JoJo now. They don't know 1 minute from the next if I'm going to do something crazy, or what's going to fall out my mouth, what I say I'm going to do. They have no idea. And it's a wonderful and lovely feeling. You want to know why? Because I don't need permission to change my perception of myself. And so today, if you are expecting a sign from above, if you're expecting your archangel to come down and say it's okay to change, if you're expecting the wind to blow and the stars and the moon to line up, this is it, boo. You don't need permission to make your own decisions. Come on, Bobby Brown. You don't need permission to change your perception of yourself. Thank you, Kiva. And Kiva, y'all, this is how friends are. Me and Kiva had not spoken in years. But when my transition happened, Kiva, look at this. You have been there through every step, from the nose ring to the tattoo, the bathing suits. When I tell you Kiva blew my head up when I put on that red two-piece bathing suit, Kiva blew my head up. Like I couldn't even get my head out the door. She blew my head up so much. She gave me all the confidence in the world to walk out that front door and on that beach in a two-piece red bathing suit, showing all of my belly rings and all my stretch marks. Good morning, Diane. And that's what friends are for. And then when I was ready to conquer that fear of water, Kiva was there. She looked me in my face and she said, you're going to be okay. I was on the brink of hyperventilating in that little bitty boat. Kiva grabbed my hand. She said, it's okay. Breathe. JoJo, look at me. It's going to be okay. And y'all, that was the beginning of another part of the journey. You don't need permission to change your perception. It is so much fun when you have somebody to go on the journey with you. Absolutely. But even if you don't, start to observe the things that you're doing and why you are doing them. Is it so you can keep up the perception of what mom and them think they want you to be? Are you keeping up your perception of your pastor, what your pastor wants you to be? Because I've done all that. I went to all the churches. I went to every event. I sung all the songs. I taught the Sunday school. I did all of that. Thank you, Kiva. I didn't want to mention that I flashed everybody on the beach. That was not my fault. That was not my fault, y'all. I fell into the ocean. And when I came up, not all of me came up. And I thought I was still cute in my two-piece bathing suit to my kids. Kiva, I think, spent most of the time laughing. But my oldest daughter was like, oh, I saw her face in sheer shock. And of course, I think like I'm in the movies, honey. I got braids in my hair. I'm slinging my hair back and I'm sexily walking out of the water with no top on in San Juan, Puerto Rico with hundreds of people on the beach. Because number one, I'm in shock because the water knocked me down. Number two, I don't realize the top is off until Courtney is like, "Mommy, oh my God." Yeah. So I had to put my top back on. And that was after I got over the shock, that was the funniest thing to me. Of course I was shocked. And I could not wait to tell my mama I had flashed. Now, old JoJo would never told her mama. I could not wait to tell my mama. I fell in the ocean and got up. I ain't had no top on. And I walked on the beach. And I was showing stretch marks and all. Honey, you don't need permission to make a decision to change your perception of yourself. I want you to have a good time with that. Look at where you want to evolve to. Look, and it all starts, like I always tell you, it always starts here. This is your mind is your superpower, right? It always starts there. What do you want to see for yourself? So if you're waiting for a sign to do whatever it is, that change that you're immediately looking for to do today, this is your sign right now. Ta-da, here it is. It's okay to change your perception of yourself. It's okay. And this has been the funnest journey ever. My kids have watched me evolve. And when I tell you, sometimes they don't know what to think, but they enjoying the ride too. But I have evolved to who I like to be. And some of us, that's why we sad, frustrated, angry, because holding on to everybody else's perception of us is exhausting. It is so exhausting. And you're just waiting for somebody to come in and say, JoJo, yes, you can do this. JoJo, yep, you can do this. Yes, you can do that. And here's your permission today that you can do that. Go and do it. Go be free, friend. Go have fun. Look at how you want to change your perception and start your journey today. My journey has been 10 years 16 years total, because I started with little baby steps. But these past 4 years, we have been in turbo. We have been changing all things. All things we have been changing. And I have enjoyed the journey, guess what, of learning JoJo. I have enjoyed the journey of pulling back pieces and layers of everybody else's version of me, thought processes, everybody else's, and things that I willingly took on and unwillingly took on. I peeled all of that back to see who JoJo really was, and then build on that. Then it got exciting. Without observation, learning is impossible. What are you observing? What are you looking at? And you do not need permission to make your own decision. I want y'all to go play that song today. Go give Bobby Brown some love. You don't need permission. This is it today. And know that your attitude determines your limitations. So if you think that you don't, and here's how you're going to rationalize this. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to walk you through how you about to rationalize this. JoJo, you can't, like, you 44 years old. What you about to be 50. What you can't be doing right now is changing who you are. JoJo, you have kids. You have a job. You have a career. You got bills. JoJo, do you know you got bills? So you can't just be up and changing and acting and here's your mama, acting a fool and carrying on. What you having a midlife crisis? Yeah, that's what it is. Why are you questioning everything now? You've been living it your whole life. And here you are 60 and you want to question things now? When is going to be the right time to ask questions though? When is it going to be the right time to think differently? When is going to be the right time on your deathbed? When you tell your kids, don't be like mama. Go live your best life. I don't want to die with those words on my lips. No, ma'am. I shall not. And it is your attitude that's going to determine your limitations right there. This is where your attitude, the superpower of your mind, is going to come into play. Do you think you can, or do you think you cannot? They are both true. If you think you cannot live in your true perception of yourself, how you want to see yourself, if you think you cannot do that, That's true. If you think you can live in the true perception of yourself, that is absolutely true. You get to pick. And you saying, Jojo, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to pick. That's you making a decision not to. That's you choosing not to live true to who you are. That's your final decision. So you can't say you don't know. You know. Please, let's be clear. You know the answer. I knew the answer without a shadow of a doubt. I knew something had to change. Now, I didn't know how I wanted to change. I didn't know what I wanted to look at. But I knew that this had to change. I knew the answer. The hard part is doing something about it. That's the hard part. Your attitude determines your limitations. So if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're also right. Without observation, learning is impossible. Take the time to observe and learn. When I understood that I understood my perception of myself was for me to create, I got bolder in my speaking. And not only my dressing, yes, I done messed around and wore a darn belly shirt to work because sometimes I do the morning show in a belly shirt. Y'all don't know. But I do the morning show in a belly shirt. And then I was in a rush that day. I done walked in the darn office. And let me tell you, I'm so corporate. I work in your compliance department. So that's about as corporate as you can get. And I was talking to a lady and I reached up to get something. She said, Louise, where is the rest of your shirt? I said, what? Where's the rest of your shirt? Because I have a little jacket on. I had a little jacket. I said, oh my. I had to leave work, go across the street to the little Ross and buy me another shirt. Y'all, I have enjoyed this journey of me. I want you to have fun with beginning to understand who you are and beginning to feel. Remember we talked about focus, and the C in focus is cultivating. Y'all, what are you cultivating? What are you growing? And then stand in who you are. Wallow in it. Feel it. Move it out. Have fun with it. So this is the permission. If you were seeking it, this is it. And you can tell everybody, that darn JoJo, she crazy, mama. She crazy. And she made me do this. I'm okay with that. I hear that a lot. I'm okay with that. JoJo made me do it. My sister says that all the time. JoJo made me do it. I can handle it. I'm giving you permission today to change your perception of yourself and have fun with it. Take your baby step because we're celebrating day 1. Because today is your first day on this journey. And your attitude towards it is going to determine your limitations. And here, boo, you don't have any. You don't have any limitations. Not a one. Not now one. Period. So you don't need permission. I don't need permission to make my own decisions. Thank you, Bobby Brown, for the inspiration this morning. And I don't know where I get these titles from. They just pop in my head. And I like them. And so that's what I go with. I welcome you to your journey. I absolutely welcome you to your journey of figuring out your own journey, to figuring it out, to knowing what it is to walk in the truest expression of yourself. You don't need permission to make your own decisions, to change your perception of yourself. You don't need it, boo. You don't. It is yours to give yourself. Now, you're free to do that. It is yours to give yourself. If it's something you don't like, you have the power to change it. You have the opportunity, the power, and the know-how to do it. Don't be afraid of that next step. That is the exciting part. The next step. It's like pulling open a curtain, opening up a gift to see, ooh, what is it today? What can I learn about myself today? What do I enjoy today? And y'all, I promise the journey will be fun. It will be amazing. And if you're lucky, you can take some friends along with you. And y'all will ride that journey out. And your friends will begin to discover themselves as well. It is very freeing. Okay? It is very liberating. Because now when I go to the grocery store, I have whole belly shirts on. Showing stretch marks. Let me tell you, I produce whole humans. I'm not hiding stretch marks. And when I got that, I got it. I would be in the grocery store with a belly shirt on, big hoop earrings, and an afro, smiling and living my whole best life. And I promise, once you begin the journey, you cannot stop it. So the Phyllis quote of the day: without observation, learning is impossible. Begin to observe what's around you. Begin to observe yourself. And your attitude determines your limitations. Period. The Phyllis thought of the day: you don't need permission to make your own decisions. You don't need permission to change your perception of yourself. If you're waiting for someone to give it to you, it's never coming. Everyone likes you exactly how you are. Okay? You're the one having that problem. You're the one that's not happy with. And y'all, it became so urgent for me as we close out. Please make sure you share the show, because sharing is caring. If your friends and family don't have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows. It became so urgent for me, my change, that I felt like I was literally going to burst out of my seams. Like, I felt overwhelmed and stressed. Like, this change has got to happen now. And I couldn't put it into words to anyone else, but I felt it on the inside of me, to the point where I kicked one of my kids out their room. I said, you can stay in your sister's room. And I turned that room into the place where I go and think, where I'm free to have whatever thought I want to have, because I felt like I didn't have it anywhere else. And it became urgent that I create that space for me. And it is in that space that I began to understand I don't need permission to change my perception for myself. You don't need it. So on this wonderful day, I hope you have an amazing day. I hope that you have an awesome day. I hope you give yourself permission today. And if you want to blame it on me, knock yourself out. You can tell her that darn JoJo mama, she made me do it. Today I got you. I welcome you to your journey. I welcome you to your freedom. Without observation, learning is impossible. So I hope you have learned something from me today. I hope I have made you laugh. I hope you enjoyed my story of my journey of giving myself permission to be who JoJo needs to be, and no one else's concept of that. And it has even manifested itself inside of my job, because I went to work in such a strict thing, and I was like, this doesn't work for me. And when I went to work in the true self of JoJo, they had no idea what to do with me. And they literally said, we have no idea what to do with you. That's a wonderful thing. Because I do. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Please make sure you share the show. I want you to be peaceful, period, because there's nothing after that. And I will see you guys here bright and early tomorrow morning. I hope you developed your color story. That was yesterday, day before yesterday. I hope you developed your color story. I hope you stopped living in perfection and started living in your purpose. And today, I want you to let go of that self-perception of everyone else. Go right now, play Bobby Brown, I Don't Need Permission. Turn it up real loud. Feel your whole self as you do his dances across the living room, in your office. It doesn't matter, in your car. Feel that song today, and then walk in that today. And come back and tell me about it later. I promise, 2 things going to happen. You're going to say, JoJo, you about crazy, number 1. Number 2, you're going to laugh at yourself. And then number 3, you're going to be like, maybe this ain't as hard as I thought it was going to be. It ain't. You making it hard. You don't make nothing harder than it need to be. All right, guys, have an amazing day. And I will see you guys here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.